wait.
Hello, young adult. Hello, senior citizen 65 and over.
Hey, young fellows. How do you do?
How do you do? Hey, it's Kaiser here with the Total Geek Live crew. We got Guy, Danny, Baltimore, and myself bringing you another 19XX. Ching! With a movie that's near and dear to our hearts.
Oh.
Chopping Mall.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Half off is just the beginning.
Chop till you drop would be of my
Wow. So this movie was one of many growing up that personally I just fell in love with this and like the stuff and these just like over the top gore fest. Oh, I think that poster messed up my camera.
It did.
I look a bit blurry.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you know.
All right, let me try to get it refocused on me here. 1 second. Let me pull up my...
It wants the poster back.
Right?
He's just going to cut a mouth.
Poster.
He's just going to cut the mouth out of the robot and speak through that.
Silly guy. That robot has no mouth.
There you are. You're much
Yet he
clearer
must
now.
scream. There you go.
There we go. Somehow autofocus came on. Anyway, Chopping Mall. This lovely movie came out in 1986. And it starred 3 lovely little robots. Johnny Five. No, wait.
Starscream.
Starscream. And Bazooka Joe. No, the Killbots. So anyway, getting ahead of myself, the premise of Chopping Mall, as you can guess, is a horror film set inside a shopping mall. Gasp.
Oh, I didn't get that before.
And it's one of those movies that it starts, it knows what it is, it doesn't try to give a message, it doesn't try to be anything more than if you're a teen and you're having sex, you're gonna die movie.
Yes.
Movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super short, too. It's like, what, 78 minutes? It's like the length of like a Disney film.
Mm-hmm.
Except
Right.
with-
And a typical animated film in the 80s was about that long.
Yeah, it's an hour and 17 minutes.
So yeah.
I mean, they didn't have a budget, really, honestly. I mean, I think $500,000.
That might be why there's only 3 robots on like what, a 5 or 6 story mall.
Yeah.
It's one of those Roger Corman produced films, too. So you know he did everything on a budget.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or
When you did that, is white stuff powder supposed to be flying everywhere or something?
Magic.
Okay.
Snow.
Snow.
It's cold out there.
It is
Yeah.
cold out there.
It's cold out there every day.
yeah. No.
So the premise, if you've never seen Chopping Mall, it's this amazing story about this mall that just got a brand new security system. And the movie opens with the kind of reveal footage where they have all the store owners gathered around, and you see that these bots are designed for when the mall closes, they patrol the areas, and if anyone breaks in, they subdue them. And as luck would have it, lightning strikes the control tower twice.
It was like 4 times.
Was it 4?
It
Okay.
was 4 times.
I lost count after 2. I also didn't know I had a left hand for a second.
It
so.
was all in the same spot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been even the same scene, just recycled 4 times over.
Control C, Control V.
Let's see.
They wouldn't do that on such a high budget flick. So as such, unlike Johnny Five, who gained sentience and learned how to like love and value life, these robots just wanted to go around telling people to have a nice day after killing them.
I mean, that's when I would say that phrase. I mean, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Now, I was just thinking, being a movie called Chopping Mall, is there any chopping that actually takes place in this movie?
No, and that's actually something that I researched about. That there was a little bit of controversy that when this film came out and moviegoers were going, they actually expected more of a serial killer like Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees or Michael
Yeah.
Myers terrorizing teenagers locked in a mall and going around and chopping them up and stuff. And when when audiences were coming out and they were being surveyed and all that, that's what they were saying. And instead, it was the robots, and they were kind of surprised by by that.
Well, it doesn't help when your poster is a hand holding a bag with a severed head in it.
Right.
And
It looks like a human.
it's
head,
humanoid. If you look at it, it's
Got
robotic. Yeah, it's a robotic hand, but that hand has nothing to do with anything in this movie.
Right.
Wasn't it not called Chopping Mall when it first was released? Didn't it have a different name, and then they
Yes.
changed it for the VHS release or something?
I think its original premise name was called Killbots, which is what they
Yeah.
are. And then originally, when they were doing production, like they were talking to one of the janitors who actually worked at the mall, and he's the one who came up with Chopping Mall.
Ah, okay.
So yeah,
So,
it's a good
in
pun.
some countries, there's you can find the movie posters about it. It was actually marketed as Killbots, and they had the movie posters and all that, and even after when it went on VHS tape and Betamax, it said Killbots on front and back covers. So some people still have always known it as Killbots, but the majority of us
Yeah.
know it as Chopping Mall.
It's a Chopping Mall.
Whoa.
So, I don't know about you guys, but like Chopping Mall was one of those first early late night cable movies that I saw when I was really young. I was like 9 when I saw this. So, that was a whole thing. Were you guys all the same for that?
Yeah, I was around that age. It was, believe my aunt always rented horror movies constantly and brought them, and I just put them in and watch them when no one was around.
Yeah.
Although,
Let's see. Oh no, wait. 86. I was 10, and I may have not even seen it until 87
Probably.
or something around there. But it's around that time is when I started associating pepperonis with areolas. So yeah.
I like pepperoni.
Wow. Okay.
I was probably about 10 given the timeline. Although I think we do have someone who is new to the Chopping Mall family of viewers.
I was yesterday's year old.
You're like that meme. How old were you when you realized that Chopping Mall's about robots?
I was yesterday year old when I had my first Chopping Mall experience.
So I'm interested in hearing this as a perspective from a newcomer, since you're like, you have nothing to go with other than the insane rants of the other three of us. You walked into this fresh, and like, not only did you watch it yesterday, you did a live texting of the whole experience.
That was amazing.
So this is how lame I was. I thought I'll just live tweet it, and then I couldn't remember my Twitter password, so I couldn't tweet it. So I was like, well, they all know this, so I'll just message in the chain. So every time things were happening, I was just like, just I don't know. It went on.
It was hilarious.
All these just random things like the movie is. It was just like, really, this now and this, and it was interesting. Very strangely funny and endearingly weird.
That's actually a pretty good description of Chopping Mall. I think it's more funny than your standard horror film.
I agree. I feel like, yeah. I mean, especially anytime you watch something nowadays, I'm hyper aware of contextualizing when it was made, for whom it was made, and now watching it in the 2019 lens. What does that mean? So it's kind of interesting to kind of look back and watch it fresh, and to see all these things. So
things like that would never fly today, like that. That one has a bit of a.
That one in the middle has an unpleasantly ethnic quality.
That's the line. I'm like, what? Because I was watching it again. I was like, I don't remember that line, but oh my god.
How do you determine this?
And they're referring to the robots.
Yeah, the three identical robots, which makes that kind of funny, funnier, you know.
It is, yeah.
Well, what's also funny about those two characters are from another film. They're Paul and Mary Bland from Eating Raoul, and now I haven't seen Eating Raoul. Now I want to because they just sit there and ham it up during this entire presentation at the beginning of the movie. Of course, there's that amazing eye roll where they just they're talking about.
Oh yeah.
So, oh my God, your eyes are gonna get stuck.
Classic.
Oh, and there was something I missed completely as a kid, and even as I watched it a couple times this past week. B caught the cock starter kit on the shelf.
In the pet department.
Phrasing. Are we still doing phrasing?
What's in frame, man?
That was a beautiful framing. Maybe it was for peacocks. Maybe this pet store in the mall sold peacocks.
Or cockatoos. I'm guessing, given the picture on the cock on the box.
But yeah, it was like we were watching this at the house like 2 weeks ago, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
But given this director slash writer's track record,
Minorski, yeah.
Yes, who is also the voice of the Killbots.
Right, because I mean, somebody had to be. They didn't have budget for anybody to do it, so.
Morgan Freeman was busy.
Unavailable.
He was doing Electric Company or something.
Or Driving Miss Daisy.
86?
86?
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice day. I'm gonna go kill some other people. Pew pew.
Pew pew. Pew pew.
That was another thing, Baltimore, that you brought up. Their powers are for the robots are wildly inconsistent. Sometimes they're like missing left and right. Other times they're like right on target. Sometimes they'll kill. Sometimes they won't.
Exactly.
Just whatever the script needs.
There's one scene where the girl is in her underwear and she's running down the mall way, and she gets zapped on the elbow and right on the ass, and that doesn't do near as much damage as a shot to the head. And then
every gamer knows a headshot's the kill shot.
Oh yeah.
Right, but you would think that the laser's like the same
intensity
the entire time, and the lasers.
It could have been screwing with her.
I think each Killbot had their own color. I remember pink and like a bluish green.
Damn it! Do I gotta go back and watch it again because I don't remember that?
Oh, like you need an excuse.
No, there is.
I'm gonna watch it again tonight. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Right.
But...
Yeah,
I don't know
if they had different colors.
They had like pink and blue and things like that, and it's like I remember when they finally got into the the store where all the kids were. It's like Star Wars with all the laser blasting.
Yeah,
it's just like going
that's
over the top.
Yeah, and there was also they were wildly either super silent or
really
loud.
Yes, hear these robots coming up on you like. They are loud, and the moving was loud. I was like, you gotta have a choice between what the audience is supposed to hear and what the actors, the characters are supposed to hear.
Right.
But it feels like everyone's hearing the same thing, so that's why I was even more like disconnected from it because I was like, people, you should hear this. Like,
Oh yeah, the
Just
one
obviously
scene,
a robot rolling towards you.
the
Yeah.
one scene where gum smacking Joe was like at the cigarette vending machine,
yeah,
Yes.
and he turns around and it's being in sneak mode at the moment, and I'm like, no, man, he should totally know that he should totally have heard that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Come on now.
You couldn't hear it over the smacking of his gum.
Little cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on. While you chew it, say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
Yeah, that could be it.
There you
I mean,
go.
it could be just so loud. It was Hubba Bubba, I guess, is what he was using, or Bubblicious.
I
Yeah.
have to tell you,
Bazooka Joe.
I was so glad he was the first one killed. Well, was one of the, 'cause he
First of the
was-
teens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awful. I was like, first off, that's really one of my pet peeves. Like, chew with your mouth closed if you're gonna do it. I do not want to see you chewing like a cow. Like it's
And 20 of the 117 minutes is.
yeah. I was like, oh god, yeah.
It's kind of funny because you can tell who's next to die based off how annoying they get, because some of the characters are okay and then they just all of a sudden just like lost it. It's like, well, they're next.
Oh yeah, the girl.
Oh yeah,
air
when the
vent, yeah.
girl was crawling through the air vent, and she's just completely going bonkers and losing it. You're like, you're kind of wishing and hoping that. I mean, I really hope she's next, because I don't think I can watch this movie anymore with her in it.
Oh no, I'm moderately inconvenienced in an air vent. How tragic.
That was the question I had. I was like, I haven't been through too many air vents in my life, but I would imagine they would not be heated unless it was the winter time. But this is California, so even then,
Right.
really wouldn't.
Right.
Then they shouldn't ever be heated, right?
So I was confused, like why it was so hot in there.
Wasn't there a throwaway line like they turned up the temperature or something like that?
Like the robots did it
Yeah.
or something.
That's quite possible.
Oh, they got the hacks too, huh?
Mhm.
What really irked me was like she was so concerned about getting to the one guy, like it was her, right? Like
Yeah, her
what,
boyfriend.
so I mean, is she all of a sudden bestowed superpowers, and like she thinks that she can totally help him in some way other than just being completely annoying and frantic?
Well, she caught on fire really well.
Oh, that's true. That is true. She did catch on fire
She
very
was
well.
lit. She
She's
was
very-
lit.
So she had the flammable powers like Human Torch. Okay.
That fire star.
That's the question. Okay, so they barricaded themselves in the back room of this, like, I don't know, studio furniture store.
Mhm.
Their idea was to escape through the roof, the air vent, but they had an exit that the guys left out of. Like, why didn't they all just go out that same way?
Because then we would have had a 43-minute movie
Uh,
instead of a 73-minute movie.
well, I mean, thankfully the girls dropped in on the paint store.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
that was convenient.
I think that was about $20,000 of the budget right there.
Just all the paint that they were throwing.
Well, you needed boot flare for later, though. That was the plot point.
Oh yeah, because she put the sweater back on, so,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so she could do the yes. I will give
I
her
mean, that
credit.
makes
She
so-
was
Like,
she was thinking as the storyline and the plot went on. I mean, she was kind of thinking things through and
Mhm.
being resourceful and all that. Of course, I mean, she was, what's the word, trope? I mean, she was one of the nerdy tropes,
Yeah.
so it kind of
Good
goes
girl,
with the
so-
territory.
And they had
Yeah,
some-
did they ever? I'm kind of. I needed to have watched it just before this because I'm blank. The mechanic chick, did she ever come into play doing anything with her mechanic skills to save the day in any way?
No,
just stood there and shot at the end.
no.
No.
I mean, they set up that she's this badass mechanic when they
Yeah.
introduce her character and her boyfriend,
Yep.
but they never play back into that.
Mm-mm. Nope. They
And
just-
also, what bugged me is during that scene, after she fixes the car with all the tools there on the engine, she just shuts the hood and they take off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You can't. What'd you do with the tools?
It's like, that's not how this thing works. I mean, I know that you're just going to be pulled along, or you know, on a
Right.
trailer or whatever, but yeah, that's not how real life works. There's so many
Yeah.
people who are like, man, I could use those tools, and you're just, yeah.
Gone.
I do think we have to give a shout out to all the supporting characters in this film past the teens, because I mean, there's the pervy security guys who are like smoking and looking at nudie mags,
Mhm.
and
That tells you just don't do that. I mean, you,
Right.
oh yeah,
They're first to go, right through the boobs, or through the picture of the boobs. And,
neck boob. But yeah, it's like it's weird because those robots were like they weren't just like logical and efficient, even though they're short circuiting. They're like all conniving and like kind of sadistic. It's like it was sneaking up like a Bugs Bunny cartoon behind it.
Well, they set the tone. The movie sets your expectations from the outset with that mall montage.
Oh yeah, that's
It's-
a long ass mall montage. That's like 10
And
minutes of the film.
Yeah, it's like all the credits are going over it, and it just goes on and on and on. But it is so slapstick. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, you know what the tone of the movie is, even though it's dark and
with the girl
killers and
struggling with all the cokes and stuff.
yeah, and the kid in the elevator that gets the ice cream crushed on his chest is like, wah, wah, wah.
Oh,
I'll show him
yeah.
again.
The
Yeah.
guy with the big, like he's sneaking something underneath his shirt, and it's ginormous, and
Yeah.
obviously he's shoplifting.
The
Oh,
little
God.
skateboarder.
It's like a square or something. It's like a record album or something.
Yeah, I
a
thought-
record
A
player.
record player. I mean, it was so prominent there.
And then of course the pizza scene.
Ugh.
I mean,
Is that it's not the same guy, but what it reminded me of, do you remember You Can't Do That on Television on Nickelodeon?
Yes, the diner
the chef?
chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name was.
Barf or Burp or Belch or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, his level of disgustingness matched this diner's.
Like smoking and wiping his
His-
spatula on it.
my God.
Oh, that restaurant has a C rating.
Every time I apparently that's the thing. But like, also like, okay, I've lived in New York a while. Like, who eats their pizza with coffee?
Oh, that's not. Yeah.
No one.
They,
I have,
Why would you do
but
that?
if I'm eating it cold pizza in the morning, with
still,
you know,
dude.
Clearly
no.
not. Thing. I
You
was,
need to drink, you need to
I
drink
was
wine for breakfast.
disgusted
when
on
you do
behalf.
that.
Man, I don't have any pizza left over for the morning. Cowabunga.
Every
Michelangelo.
pizza is personal pizza if you try hard enough.
And then there was more butter guy. There's more butter. And then does that fast cut to lightning. More butter.
Hey, he was calling upon the powers of Thor by saying more butter.
Butter.
By the power of yeah.
His heart exploding is what generated the lightning.
That or Paula Deen.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was the spirit of her career striking.
Wow. And then, of course, that great cameo by Dick Miller, who was in Gremlins. But he was actually reprising, like Paul and Mary Bland, he was actually reprising a character, Walter Paisley from Bucket of Blood. So this is like lead-ins to other movies as well. It's like we have Bucket of Blood, Eating Roll. So this is like a trilogy, is it? They're all connected
So
universe?
would you say that this is like the first like cinematic universe?
Yes.
Yeah, I would
86,
definitely say
man.
so because even one of the pervy guy looking at the nudie magazine, he's a character from another movie.
Was he from Reanimator?
No, I
No.
can't remember what
I
it
wouldn't-
was, but I'll put a little blurb about it when I go into post.
Okay.
On it, yeah.
Yeah, we might need to write a chart, design a chart, and put on the website, and link to it in the description.
Right, and connect all of
Yeah,
this stuff
the
together.
Chopping Mall universe, the CMU.
I wonder if
but-
if Paul Blart's in there.
Oh,
Paul Blart.
Paul Blart versus Chopping Mall. I'd
that
pay
would
to see
actually
that.
be amazing.
I've never seen
Quiet.
a Paul Blart movie, and I never will, even if it's got Chopping Mall in it. I'll refuse.
Even if you can see Guy Chapman in it.
I don't like.
Well, you know,
Kevin James.
I was young and needed the money.
That's what she said.
It is, and it's true.
It's true.
Sure.
Oh god. Okay, and what was up with the stupid inside little back and forth between the two girls? They never set it up or had a payoff of the babe. That is your name, right? They said it like
But
3 or 4 times between the two of them.
Mhm.
Like it's their little we're best of friends. This is our little thing we say to each
Oh,
other.
the two blondes that work together.
Yeah, the main survivor chick and the chick that invited her to the party. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names.
Fire Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Explain
the
it.
flammable one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fire Girl and
You're
Survivor
right.
You know, I
Girl.
didn't even
That was
catch
odd.
that.
Because it's like, yeah, they say it like 2 or 3 times, like, but in no context, in no relation to anything that's going on,
Hmm.
and they just keep saying it a couple of times. Your name's Babe, right? And I'm like, or
Maybe
Babe.
some sort of inside story, inside joke that we never got. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, is it something that ended up on the chopping mall chopping floor?
It got
That's
Were
the
they-
Yeah, did it
director's cut.
Were they somehow trying to promote the new movie Babe about the pig? Like later on, did that come out later?
Yeah, that was way
95.
later. It was like 10 years
95.
later.
Oh, still okay.
They knew though. They knew.
I see you trying to put the dots there.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
Trying to
connect
make
things
bacon.
together. I like bacon. Bacon's good.
It is. But you know what else is good? Chopping Mall. For all the wrong and right reasons.
It's a campy horror film. I mean, it's camp. It is campy.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
camp. It's got
It's just-
great. It's got the great death scenes. You got heads exploding. You've got all the TNA you could want.
Well, that one
yeah.
girl. That one girl was all the tea you could ever need. That was that whole montage was a confusing moment for me as a kid, just because it's 10-year-olds. It's like, oh wow, boobs, and then like 10 minutes later, oh wow, her head explodes. I don't know how to feel anymore.
It's like,
That's exactly right.
and that's how serial killers are born.
Right.
I'm aroused, but her head blew up.
I need to write this in my diary. Dear diary.
I'm very confused right now.
Yeah.
Oh, chopping mall.
Yes.
It was weird and interesting because you had these. They alternated between knowing what was going on and then having no clue. Like
Mhm.
they all, for the most part, I know all of them work in the mall except for the
Mechanic girl.
mechanic chick and her husband.
Hmm.
So they would all know that these killbots are there, and that there are 3 of them
Hmm.
in the mall operating after hours. But then they do go to realize that there's only one. Then they go back to thinking that there's not any more of them. Then it's like it got confusing. Like, well, but you're in the mall. You would know this,
Yeah, you all got briefed.
right? And even one,
Because they're all workers there.
even the I think chewing gum guy is like raising a thing at the thing at the thing of the thing,
Showing his thing to the thing with the thing.
right? But that was the kind of maddening thing that you're like, but they're supposed to do. Why don't they? And yeah.
Especially because there's that, and it's like they can't escape, and then they have like these high-tech security Star Trek doors that seal from like what 10 or to 6 or something.
Right. Yeah.
What mall does this? What mall has ever done this?
Well, what, like, what is the level of thievery that's going on that necessitates
Right.
Right.
these stores and the killbots and
Oh, those stores are straight up like sci-fi spaceship. It's like, what mall would put that level of
I think those doors were also used in Fantastic Four.
Probably.
the Corbin,
I guess robberies were high at the B. Dalton or whatever, but
right? Well, you saw the guy walking out with the big
I mean,
Being under a shirt.
That square thing.
But that doesn't.
All
But that
at his
doesn't.
fault.
Yeah, but the killbots aren't on the floor at that time. They only come out at night, right? So
Yeah.
it prevented nothing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wow.
Because no one steals during regular business hours.
Of course not. For sure.
I think one of my favorite scenes during the end of it was when they were just running around, and it's like they passed by Radio Shack like 6 times. Were they just running laps? Was it like extreme mall walking where they're just running around?
Extreme.
You've been in a mall. You just keep going round and round.
The actual scene that was actually pretty interesting to me was when they were back in the little pizza shop, the Italian shop, and it's when the guy who just lost his lit girlfriend gets all up in nerdy guy's face. Like those scenes there, that was actually pretty interesting. And then he just went dumb and then running all around and loud. I'm like, if these robots are on the prowl, why don't you just be quiet? Like, why announce where you are and yell and shoot a gun?
Right, you're gonna lead them right to you.
Yeah.
Well, you know how it is. Your hormones are all wiggity whack from all the intense.
That's true.
Going
Yeah, they could-
ons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have hung out in there, had some cigarette butt pizza, and
Oh God!
because
Why would you say that?
Totally cigarette butt pizza, like for sure.
that's a new T-shirt.
Yeah. And then, where does this idea come from that splitting up is a good idea? Never in the history of horror movies is splitting up a good idea. Ever.
Have we learned nothing from Scooby-Doo?
We have learned
Okay,
nothing.
let's split up and look for
We have
clues.
learned nothing.
It just didn't make sense because first you need to come up with a plan and reason why you need to split up. Maybe someone needs to go fix something over here and somebody needs to go fix something over there. But they hadn't come up to any of that. No, it's just we need to get to the computer control room. That's it. That's one destination. Splitting up is not.
No,
Oh yeah, they're going to the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing is, well, like, what if this totally recasts the movie? What if she's the mastermind behind it and she's just trying to kill all these people because she doesn't like them anymore? Let's split up.
That would have been genius, and that would have been a great twist on it.
She's the one that put a lightning rod directly into the mainframe on the tower, and that's why it kept striking over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
These are ideas for the reboot we should do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, because this is what we want to do. We want to reboot this movie so bad. I know I do.
Yeah.
I know I do.
I just
So many ideas. So
ideas
many.
I mean, this was a horror campy movie, and it has plot holes and so many things done wrong with it. But there's some substance to it that I think, with the way Hollywood loves to do reboots right now, I really think this particular film could be a hit and could be very well done.
So let's try to raise the exact amount of money they had when they filmed it originally.
And try to
And see.
try to do a $500,000 budget.
Yeah.
Well,
You can totally do that.
Well, what's frustrating is they actually are trying to do a chopping mall reboot right now, but it doesn't have robots. It doesn't have robots. It has mannequins that are filled with souls of dead slaves that were built on the grounds before the mall was erected. I'm telling the truth.
Different movie.
Well,
That's a
and
different.
that's it's actually
That's
they've been
Poltergeist
doing-
5.
They've been
Yeah.
trying to reboot this movie
We
for at
skipped
least
4.
10 years, at
Mhm.
least, and
Yeah.
it just keeps falling through the wayside. No one
Well,
one
give
can
it to
say
us.
Yeah,
'Cause
give it
it's
to
not
us,
chopping.
and we will totally make this happen. We will give our 110% and make this the film that it deserves, the reboot that is deserved to the world.
Baltimore Russell as Bazooka Joe.
Killbot 3. You know, we'll update the dialogue instead of "Thank you, have a nice day." It'll say "Thank you, next." just for the young folk. But yeah, it's like I think we could sit down and do a great Chopping Mall remake. I still want to use the designs of the original Killbots, and I'd want to set it in a mall in our hometown. They could drive by Peanut Shack and kill people.
Right.
Well, it's a short movie, so one story mall is enough.
Yeah, I mean they ran by Radio Shack enough. I mean clearly there's square footage.
Well, no, but there was that one awesome scene. It was a very impressive stunt where Home Dude jumped away from the
Yes.
elevator down onto a lower level, and I mean that was a really impressive jump.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
man,
that's true.
There were some good falls in this.
yes,
Good.
yeah. Now the other one ended on a sad note, um, but it was still a good fall.
Yeah.
But also when she falls, like you clearly see a full pointed tent, and she falls onto it. I'm like, those points would kill you.
Yeah, yeah. Now that was a bad fall. Yes, you're right.
I was like, at least they're empty suitcases. Broke your fall.
Yeah, and your spine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
I know.
Yes.
Oh, but then we talked a little bit about it, but the pet store scene.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
With
If-
the things crawling on her. Yeah,
Right,
there's like
but-
tarantulas and what else?
Snakes.
Snake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was like trying to hide up in that cubby, up in the shelving behind the box.
dog food.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like holding cradling a bag of dog food and Alpo or whatever in front of her.
And for a moment, I was like, oh my god, if this robot kills a dog or a cat, I'm going to lose it.
All right.
I would not do well with that. And then he's like breaking all this stuff. I was like, is the robot doing this on purpose to try to get a reaction? Or is he just kind of like all bumbly and just he hits things and it's in the way?
Mm-hmm.
Going for Bumbly. But
Yeah.
You didn't see any puppies or any of the cocks like the feed bag promotes or
Uh-huh.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if did she get paid extra for that scene, kind of like how the Candyman guy
Yeah.
got paid for the bee stings, with all
Yeah.
those creepy crawlies over her. I mean, I don't know if I could do that.
Well,
Spiders, well, like maybe tarantulas and all that, but the snakes, man, I hate snakes. I don't know if I can do
Mhm.
that.
Well, the director was a good sport. He actually did some of the stunts beforehand to show that if I can do it, then obviously you can do it too.
Oh,
Just
that's
it's
cool.
like I'll do it for you because they were going to have scorpions in that scene as well, and he's like there, and he's like nope, and so they just like I'm not doing it, neither is she. So that was
Wow.
one of the things they took out because he wasn't going to have it. So
That would have completely changed that scene.
oh,
Oh,
Get
yeah.
over here.
exactly. Little tiny yellow ninja.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
Oh,
remember
Chuck.
how does the movie end? They destroy the final bot, and then I think it's like daylight
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah. Well,
And then
well, they weren't used to being chased by robots in a mall.
Well, I mean, like, yeah. That's so meta.
Such a ridiculous line, and she said it so straight too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to even think. I mean, do we ever see them exit the mall?
No, it just the survivors are happy. The end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's so weird. Like, yeah.
Hmm.
There's like all those like stereotypical tropes of if something isn't gross enough, you just make it grosser, and they're like, "What's grosser than this?" Okay, let's grosser than that, and then they do it, and that's how you ended up with the chef and whatever, and that like the nasty like mop water.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like the other janitors walking by with a beer in the mall.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
He's on
oh,
break, man.
Everybody's smoking and drinking and just having a good time. Don't pay no attention.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Just doing her job.
Yep. They're
Yeah,
on
that was the
overnight
other thing.
shift.
Like how just open it was about that. Like there was no cares, there was no real like thought about behavior or anything like that.
Yeah.
Smoking, the drinking, everything. I was like, today, not maybe so much.
Right.
You know, that topless chick running around before she really went topless later on in the movie. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty wacky. But yeah, I mean, I think the whole gist of this movie is if you have sex, you get killed by cartoony murder bots.
Yeah.
In this story, there's no ulterior motive, no deeper moral or big twist or anything. It's just robots go nuts, robots kill people, the nerds live.
That's right.
Well, it's a more effective message than one of those chick tracks. I think it really brings the point home better than one of those.
Yeah.
With chick tracks,
Yeah.
I have to refresh my memory of the chick
You know
track.
the little pamphlets that you find like at hospitals and grocery stores that people conveniently leave and religion? What's that? And it's like, oh, come on. And who
Okay.
tried to- Yeah.
All the ones that say like abstinence is the best policy, or whatever.
Yeah, I found one at the grocery store on Christmas Eve. It was amazing. About Halloween, no less.
Very timely.
I was like, I'll take it. It's going to my collection.
Yeah. I love that he also, at the very end, the guy holding an entire roll of toilet paper.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I'm just take the entire roll. I need the entire roll.
Yep.
First aid applied correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, Chopping Mall. We
Yes.
need more of you in our lives.
That's right.
B movies. There you go.
Yeah, as far as B movie goes, that's one of my personal favorites, and it's always stuck with me just because it's so just wacky and goofy, and it's still pretty funny. And I think it has actually, as I've gotten older and gone back and watched it, it's just I think it takes on a whole other level of just funny to me.
Yeah, that's why I was saying like endearing. Like there's an endearing quality to it. That was nice. Yeah.
Any last words before we wrap up this 19XX?
Mm,
No.
Any shopping puns or
I've already done the chop till you drop.
there you go.
get
Well-
it on sale.
Get it half off?
Mm-hmm.
Our white sails are red.
No.
Oh, there you go. I did it. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think it has the same emotional intensity and pungent lyricism as the first part.
But it does sound foreboding.
It-
What do you want? I don't write video covers.
I'm just a chimp.
That's right.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. We love sitting here and reminiscing over these old films that we either grew up with or grew
saw
up with yesterday.
Remember that film I saw yesterday? That was
Yesterday.
a good time.
Yes, this is totally 19XX for 3 of us. This is 20XX for Baltimore.
As long as we take the path that gets us there.
That's right.
Exactly.
I made it.
You did.
And aren't you glad you took the journey?
Yes, sir.
All right. We might transcribe his live tweets for you at some point.
You should just throw up random quotes throughout the review. Just kind of like how they do.
Just underneath him.
Just
Yeah,
quote.
I'll put it under
live
detail.
tweet,
Like
Baltimore
these are things
Russell.
that he said.
That would be funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be brilliant.
Like, you lucky that tit was full of suitcases.
Yeah.
And damn, girl, has firecracker in her titty.
Like our own Cisco Lieber to Geek show. Yeah.
So, yeah, keep on the lookout. We'll probably do some more Chopping Mall content just because of our love for the absurd. And what's more absurd than killer mall robots?
A musical about killer robots.
You shut your mouth. That might happen.
That's going. We're gonna get some cardboard, put it around us, and Roomba, and
I'm chopping. You're chopping.
Look out, Spotify.
All right. That's it. I've got no more. As always, it's all geek to us. Bye.
I eat
Chop!
chop.
Ah!
Chopper of the universe.
Come on.
Chopper of the universe. To save every one of us.
Come on, arigato, choppo, roboto.